Okie dokie then. I guess I'm now your mother. I'm not cooking you shit. Okay, here we go. Good morning, ladies, gentlemen, and creatures of darkness. You are listening to Radio Nightly, and this is your titular host, Nightly himself. Yes, even though this isn't a radio station, I'm going to keep introducing it that way. If you want to help me out, then you could definitely like and subscribe to this, and I would not complain, because that's a very desirable outcome. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so this has been an interesting experiment so far. I have spent the last couple of days getting the games to work with this. Like, I know that everybody else is really great with OBS, and, you know, everybody's got like some sort of god tier video editing skills. But I just took like one class in college, so I don't really. Yeah, you get it, right? Well, anyway, I'm learning as I go, and so like this avatar is going to change periodically, in very minor ways, I think, probably. Yeah, whatever. I really thought that the model would be the harder part. Turns out it's pretty damn easy. Like, actually getting the recording to work. Now that's the issue. But of course it does in fact work. So that's a good thing. I mean, it's excellent. I mean, I spent like an hour or two yesterday just trying to figure out what was making this thing desync. And as it turns out, I had some of my settings on just a little bit too strong. You know, like 1980 something. But I don't know. I'm not really technically gifted. In fact, it's something like a miracle that I can sit around and do this at all. So, thank you for watching. And I'm actually gonna, you know, we're gonna do some things. Stand the hell by, because I've got a neat thing here. God damn it. Yay. So I did go through and I changed a couple of the options in here just to make sure that this shit worked. And I'm pretty sure we're good to go. I'm like 90% sure we're good to go. Like, I'll check on this periodically as we're going along, and if we start desyncing, I'll turn that back down so that, you know, sanity can reassert itself. So, I mean, obviously we don't have the new server yet, but we're eventually going to get one after V gets tired of, I don't know, screwing around on this one. So yeah, we're going to do this in little spurts. Little tiny spurts. Okay, so originally I was going to do some just basic information. As you can see, this castle is kind of... Okay, well, I went just a little tiny bit overboard. But this is secretly an economy game, right? Like, you have these bosses here, which will unlock these powers, right? Like, this one turns you into a wolf, and this is the first boss in the entire game, right? But as you scroll down, you know, you'll eventually come to the point where you have to defeat certain people to get certain types of structures and, you know, certain types of armor and weapons and things like that. So you can't just go out there and murder everything, because eventually you're going to come to a point where you need the economy to progress forward, And then you can't just focus on your economy because eventually you're going to have to turn around and go back out there and kill something. You know, and that's the beauty of this game, is that it merges micromanagement. Well, I wouldn't call it micromanagement exactly, but you pretty much have to pay attention to both. And I mean, it is a survival game, yeah, but this is probably the beating heart of your castle right here. All of these coffins. I'm going to assume that you know nothing about this game, because that makes my life slightly easier when I'm explaining it. Where do I want to begin? You know what? Fuck it. I don't think I'm going to explain anything at all. I'm just going to play for a little bit. See how... So we're back, and it did in fact desync, because of course it did. But don't worry, this will get better. Like, I will figure this out, and then we will have the ability to actually do this game appropriately. In the meantime, I am just going to play for a while, because I haven't actually done that for a bit, and as we go along, I guess I'll just make commentary or some shit like that. Yeah, so as you go along, this is secretly an economy game. You kill the bosses so that you get recipes, and then you craft gear so that you can go out and kill the bosses. And honestly, I forgot what I was doing. A little bit. Okay, probably a lot of bit. I actually spent a pretty decent amount of time on this castle trying to make it look good, but all of these floors and walls and everything do serve a purpose. Up here you can actually see that, one, all of your crafting stations gain time bonuses for being inside under a roof, and then they also gain a reduction in cost for having a matching floor. So this is the workshop. It's got a workshop floor. Everybody's happy. I spend less resources to get things done. The big mistake that I see a lot of people make, and even some of my friends that are playing this game make the mistake of smashing literally every workstation that they have into like one room or one giant, one-room castle. And that's not actually very efficient. I mean, you run out of materials fast that way. So people are always asking, like, hey, why are you not hurting for materials? And it's like, I'm actually using them well, for one thing. There's what I'm looking for. The other thing that is probably a pretty good beginner bit of advice is when it comes to like smashing down some of these refinement things, like the furnace, it takes forever to craft dark silver, which is the final crafting material of the game, right? So it takes absolutely forever to craft that crap. Oh, Here's what I'm looking for. At least I think this is what I'm looking for. This was not what I was looking for. Yeah, so if you can't tell, I haven't really looked at this for like a minute. Oh my god, I'm lost in my own castle. This is terrible. I'm such a bad example. It's daylight, but we're gonna risk it. Fun fact, not all horses are created equal. You can check their max speed, acceleration, rotation speed by hitting tab. If you fill up their inventory with water, it is very forgiving. Pretty much everything in this game has some sort of timer or ticker or something on it that prevents you from utilizing it for literally forever. So once again, an economy game. So every weapon has some sort of particular bonus to it. Like, I prefer the mace, believe it or not. Just because it's the hardest hitting weapon in this game. And I always end up mining minerals, so plus 25 physical damage to minerals. That also increases yield, according to some people. But I don't really see that much of a difference, to be honest with you. So, like, we got 70 stone out of that. Let's switch over to his sword. And look at that, we got like 73 stone out of that too. I think it just does it faster. Perhaps. I mean, that would make sense. Yeah, because like each hit there is like 9, 10. But we had to hit it a lot more with the sword. So yeah, like use the right tool for the job. You're going to end up needing practically everything that you pick up here. Even grass, right? So, one thing that V was doing was she was just dropping grass, right? She didn't want any of it, which I understand. Grass takes up a lot of space, but you end up using it later on for tailoring, which is something that people do not tell you, and then you end up using it later on for there's one other thing. I want to say alchemy, but I don't think it's alchemy. Point of the matter is you even end up using grass, and then you end up running out of it. Right? Which is not... Yeah, see, here we go. So you use it in tailoring, you make empty canteens with it. You can also make... Yeah, cloth. And then cloth is used for silk. And so on and so forth. I mean, obviously this has a few spoilers in it. So if you don't like spoilers, then you're probably watching the wrong YouTube video. Because I'm probably going to just spoil everything. Not on purpose, mind you. Why am I running around on a horse, you ask? Well, it's because I actually do intend to go and leave. Do other things. Pardon me there. Nose itched. So yeah, it is a good idea to have multiples of these. Because... some of this crap is slow as fuck. Like, see, okay, so that's copper, right? Copper ingots take about 30 seconds to smelt. But once we drop in some of the crap for swordstone, that's like 2 minutes and a half, right? So that's going to take a while. A long while, probably. Yes, it begins to end up looking like an inventory management game. I may end up editing out this part because it is kind of admittedly sort of boring. Watching me sort inventory. You know, I think I figured out what I'm going to do today. I'm going to try to capture my last servant. I have one more coffin that I need to fill, and it seems convenient to do so now. Especially as I was talking about the servant system being one of the primary economic factors in this game. Which is true. I mean, you need them for stuff. Oh, there we go. Rogue blood. Okay, so like partially what we're suffering from here is we're suffering from the garlic exposure. There are certain parts of this game that end up getting really annoying. That is one of them. Because it just takes time to go away, right? Like they hang all this garlic out everywhere because obviously you're a vampire, right? They do not want you going into their homes and robbing them, even though the horse is called Daylight Robber. Oh, look at that. Yeah, I think I'm done with that. I suspect that on PvP servers the horses are a lot more important. Like being able to do drive-by slashings, you know? Like some sort of vampire gangster. You know. Okay, now this is the shittiest portion of this map. And you'll see why shortly. It's because they have guns. Oh god. Yes. So... So yeah, that's not fun. Like these guys you can definitely handle, right? But I tell you what, the fire is still annoying. Although I think that maybe we could get somebody out of there. Depending. We are eventually going to go back for that horse. I don't really like losing horses in this game. This is not my best work today, I assure you. Well, I suppose we'll continue onwards. By the way, there is no penalty for hopping on different mounts. None at all. Right? You can just do that all day long. Because eventually they will despawn, right? Like this horse has only 6 hours left, right? And that can go pretty quick. And that's so the map does not become infested with player horses. My advice when you do start playing this game, if you're one of those people who is interested specifically in joining this server that we were setting up, because I know I had a few friends, most of you probably watching this, but my advice would be to get a horse early. We're going to stand in the shade here for a minute. Most of the horses are going to spawn over here in Dunley Farmlands. You see a few in Silverlight Hills, but this is a crazy high-level area. And then none of them spawn down here in the Farbane Woods. And by the way, the server that we're on right now has been running for like 1,300 some odd days. So obviously everybody and their brother, sister, cousin, uncle, nephew, great-great-grandmother, somebody, they all have castles. So, I mean, pretty much everything is claimed. Which is the other reason I think that it would be cool to start our own server. And maybe start to finish doing the bosses, because I don't know that I want to start that series in the middle. So I guess I'm just going to call this a Let's Play. This is practice. Practice for me. I mean, you gotta start somewhere. Okay, so this looks boring, and it technically is. But this, looking over here in the top right, sunlight bad. Like, check it. Really bad. So you pretty much have to stay in the shade, and I would like to go into the city. The problem is that the city has very little shade, right? Because it's a difficult area. God, I love doing that. Okay, that's one of the ones that I want. My suspicion is that she's going to be an absolute bitch to catch. Yes, my suspicion was correct. I got her. Yay. And I have to find some way to get the heck out of here. That's the real problem. Is like you capture these people, and then... Oh god. This is horrible. Welcome to sunlight. Ow, 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 my god. Yes, well, that is bound to happen every once in a while. Yep. Okay, well, yeah. So I tried to go through and fix some of this in post-processing, and yeah, okay, well, I'm not exactly happy with the result here. People say that it is easier to edit terrible writing than it is to edit a blank page, which is the general philosophy under which I have published this. And having said all of that, thank you for watching and being patient enough to get to the end of this stream. I keep calling it a stream. It's actually just a recording. I don't even know the lingo. But more seriously, thank you for staying this long. It will get better. Frankly, I didn't stop that quite as often as I probably should have. And had I done so, I probably would have been able to correct that on the fly a little bit better. But that's what we have post-processing for. And experience and time and a lingering and overwhelming sense of personal shame. Yeah. Well. Anyway, I've been fiddling with this for the last couple of days, and I definitely wanted to put something out on the general principle that I ought to be putting things out on a regular basis. And my goal is Thursday, is I want to be able to put things out on Thursday. So hopefully by next Thursday, or possibly next Tuesday, I will have figured this out somehow. And you have that to look forward to. So I'm going to go ahead and let you go. This has been Nightly of Radio Nightly, signing off.